Hello, hello. We are officially live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mindful Matter podcast. Welcome our honorable guest, CJ. Welcome our co-host, Bopia. Welcome our co-host, Sapon. And welcome uh, my friend, my co-host, Sapan. I just
So
I
fun.
just messed that up, didn't I? Sapan. I'm always used to saying your name is Sapan.
Yeah, we don't all have cool names like Chris.
Oh, okay, I
That's
see.
right.
So cool,
Golden
so
name.
original, right? So anyway, since we're all live, let's just get started, and we're gonna go ahead and do our usual introduction. Are you ready, guys?
Ready.
All right. It's time. 8:02. Here we go live every Friday at 8:02 Eastern Standard Time. The Mindful Matter podcast. Follow, join, and watch us, where you can learn how and why to be the following: be successful, healthier, create generational wealth, plant money trees, and above all, how and why it is important to be happier with the people around you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 4 episode honorable guest, CEO of the Dream Activist, CJ Joshi. He is one of our extraordinary men and women of Ubami. He is an expert in finance, build generational wealth, plan money tree. And now, here is our co-host, Bopia, Sapon, and Sopan. Thank you. Go ahead, Sapon, take over from here. Prep our special guest, CJ.
Welcome, CJ.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we will have 6 questions, and you have 45 minutes to speak, and we'll take a break, and we have all the co-hosts uh, ask you questions. Okay, 15 minutes. Let's do it.
Super. I'm excited.
Yes, yes. We're excited to hear your story. We're excited to hear your knowledge and learn from you. And hopefully our guests or watcher or audience would take some valuable lesson from you and gain a lot of knowledge from you. And we do our best to interact with you and make it as exciting and wonderful time as possible. So we're
Super.
going to go ahead and do the stage is yours. And CJ, please, let's
Cool.
introduce yourself and let's talk about you.
Sure. Sure. So, hey guys, uh, people call me CJ, the Dream Activist. Uh, since 2010, I've been involved with helping people, guiding people in terms of how do they achieve their dreams, how do they manage their finances, how do they uh, manage their life in such a way that they are able to achieve all their dreams. Um, and it's been a privilege of for me to um, be able to serve people from 5 6 different countries so far, and it's been a great journey so far. So people call me a financial management coach, but moreover, people call me the dream activist. The reason is because uh, their dreams get activated, and I help them to activate those dreams, because most of the time what happens is that in the journey of lives, in the mundane of lives, we forget our dreams, right? And we just uh, think of just getting by or just living for the day. But you know, when you activate your dreams, you become a whole new person. So that's my journey so far, and I've been privileged to be working with people from all walks of life, um, homemakers to army officers to doctors to lawyers to students, and it's been a great learning journey for me from to meet different people from different parts of the world. I've been featured on an Indian television show for 100 episodes. called Zindagi Bane Aasan, and that's where everything went viral. And I made these short videos for people on financial management, mind management, and that went viral. And by God's grace, I have around 400,000 followers on Facebook. And yeah, the journey still continues. And I'm here with Chris and team, and I feel blessed to be here.
Wow. Yeah, that
Wonderful.
is
We all have
awesome.
dreams.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
we're blessed to have you here with
Wow.
That's
us
right.
Yeah,
to
we're
teach us
excited.
more.
And just to give you a little background and how I met CJ is through watching his video. It keep popping up into my Facebook feed for whatever reason may be. And I contacted him. I like, oh my God, he responded back to me and said, yeah, I would love to be on your podcast. And that's how I met him. And
Nice.
Wow.
I watch his video over and over and over, and I cannot stop listening to it because it makes perfect sense. You
Right.
know, I'm a
Thank
hard
you.
person to convince anything. But when you get my attention, you got to have something special. And
Great.
I
I'm
feel
glad.
special listening to him. And that's the reason why I feel that I have to have him on the show and share his knowledge with the world.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Perfect. So there we are.
So, Bong Sapon, why don't you just go ahead and read the next one we're going to ask some question on?
All right.
Yeah.
So we would like to dive deeper into your vision and businesses, please.
Right.
The money mindset.
Sure. Yeah.
What's that all about?
Tell us.
It's all
Tell
about
the world.
mindset, right? Correct. Correct. So the reason I started my journey as a coach is because when I was young, I wanted to, fulfill all my dreams. But I come from a very humble background. Um, in our family, my mother was the only person who was the breadwinner of our family, and she's a school teacher. And I had these big dreams, and I had these big visions of, I want to be a pilot, and I want to do this, that, and the other. But one fine day, because I was in the wrong company of all sorts of wrong people, I failed in my studies. And in India, if you fail in your studies, it's a big deal. You know, especially if you are a teacher's kid and you fail, it's like the end of the world, right? So when I failed,
Yeah.
it was like a defining moment of my life because I thought, you know what, it's going to be over. All my dreams are going to be smashed. I'll not be able to do anything. So
Oh,
from there, uh, I came to that point that one day I just closed my door and I said, you know what, this is it. I'm going to end it. But then
wow.
I saw the face of my mother and I said, you know what, this lady struggled so hard to feed me, um, you know, uh, to do things for me, and I'm not going to end it. I'm going to make it great for her. And since that day, I became a learning machine. In that one year, in my year 11, I read around 300 books on personal
Wow.
development, on managing mind. Why do people do what they do? And from that day, I became a learner for life. So, long story short, I went from being a failure to achieving all my big dreams. So after that, within 6 years, I became a engineer. I became a pilot. I became a business owner. I created the life of my dreams. I went to Sydney, Australia, studied to be a pilot, and I became a pilot instructor. And then slowly, gradually, I switched over to becoming a business owner. Came back to my home country, India, and started some businesses. Some worked, some didn't. But you know what? I'm glad that I started everything that I wanted to do. The reason I started Master Your Money Mindset and the Dream Activist is because I saw that a lot of people are uh, where I was back then. You know, a lot of people want to have that leap of faith. A lot of people want to achieve their dreams, but they just don't know how, right? And I figured out some strategies. I figured out some techniques and some mindset. That's the main thing, the mindset. So I figured out that mindset is the key. Once you change the mindset, everything changes in your life. So my vision is that what every individual has the potential to achieve greatness, has the potential to be the best version of themselves, has the potential to serve their families the best. But it's just the little spark to activate it, right? And that's why I started. So currently I run three businesses. One is I teach people financial management, and I do this coaching and training. The second is me and my wife, my beautiful wife. We run a relationship coaching business, and we coach couples to achieve their highest potential. Are you able to hear me, guys? Are you able to
Now
hear
it's
me?
okay.
Yeah,
Can
I can
you
hear you.
can you rewind back for maybe 5 seconds?
Okay,
We lost
rewind
you a
back.
little bit.
So business number two is me and my wife. We do relationship coaching for couples. And number
Relationship.
three, we run a small talent management company. We manage some Bollywood actors. So we work with them to get them some projects. We get them to meet some directors. My father-in-law, my wife's father, he is a big name in Bollywood. Uh, he was the business manager to Priyanka Chopra, one of the biggest actress in Bollywood. Now she's in Hollywood. But
Wow.
we, we
You're
run.
mentioning Chopra, right? I think
My
I watched some of her movies.
Yeah, my father-in-law was her business manager for 15 years, but now
Okay.
she's in Hollywood. But when she was in Bollywood, my father-in-law and my wife, they managed her work.
Okay. I'm gonna check more out about them. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
sure, sure. So the vision was to help people achieve their highest potential. And one thing that I noticed was that finance is one thing that stops most of the people. Uh, it's not the money, it's lack of the money or it's lack of the management of money that doesn't allow people to achieve their dreams. So that's why I started these businesses to serve the community, to help people. And now, we are a family of 400,000 people and growing.
Wow. Your story is amazing, and probably 90% of people can relate to your challenge and obstacle, and you know, I mean, a lot of people would just quit, and they need somebody like you to really help them jump over those hurdles. And I'm glad that you started the money mindset and your three businesses. And I'm so happy to able to get this opportunity to meet you and able to discuss this to a vast audience throughout the world. I'm happy to have you.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm
Yeah,
glad to be here.
I always wanted to go visit India, the east side, where the Buddha was enlightened and passed away, reach
Yeah,
Vana. Yeah, so I always it's part of my dream of going to visit
wow.
there before I die. So um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's interesting.
Is your
So
it's a very
connection?
interesting
It can
place.
arrange
Yes,
yeah,
it for
Mike,
you.
you're gonna fly me around, right? Your
for
family.
sure. For sure, for sure. Most welcome.
Mhm.
Great, great, great.
Any other question, Sapan and Bong Sapon?
Cannot hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry about that. My mic was muted. Yes. Sorry about that, CJ. Wow, that's a powerful, incredible story, and the fact that you're so giving, and you think of others first, and I know that all the blessings you put out there has came back tenfold. Um, I I mean, my question is like when you say being a dream activist, what role do you play in making that dream happen again?
So, uh, first of all, making them believe that, okay, uh, dreams do come true. You don't have to give up on your dreams. So that's the first step. So working on the belief systems. Majority of times, the belief is where the issues are, right? So working on that first, working on the mindset first. Then the skill set. Are they ready for what what they want to achieve? Whether they want to be, let's say, a singer, or they want to be an accountant, or they want to be a pilot. Are they
Hmm.
skill ready? Are Do they have enough skills to do that? So mindset, skill set, and heart set. Are they willing to give their 100%
Mm,
on whatever they want to do, right? So these are the three things that I help them with. And of course, finances is a major part of it, right? So
right.
are they willing to manage their money? Are they willing to put 20% aside and
Yes.
save for that dream, right? So all that I work with them.
Okay, gotcha. I was under the impression that you finance them or maybe invest and help them grow. Or you provide capital or help them fund the dream. When you said the biggest issue is capital, right? I thought
Right.
you're an investor.
Right. So see, the capital is an issue, but before the capital, it's the issue of the mindset.
Mm,
And you know, for me, I thought the capital was the biggest issue, but it wasn't. It was my mindset that was the biggest issue. Once I fixed it, capital was no longer the issue, right?
right.
So, and that's where majority of people think, I will start that business when I'll have enough money.
Mm, hmm.
That enough money doesn't come, and then they never start a business.
Mhm.
In
Yeah.
present day and
Right.
age,
Mhm.
in the age of internet, anyone can start a business with zero money.
Mhm.
All you need
Exactly.
is a willingness to help people and solve problems of people, and you are in business, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
truly believe
so
that. I
Awesome.
yeah,
totally agree with that.
correct,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
correct,
it. I love it. You speak my language. I love it. Right now, the
correct,
roadblock is all about the mindset. Because
the
how
the business
people,
correct.
language, yes. The
how people
mindset
believe
language.
in themselves first, right? Most people
Mhm.
don't believe in themselves. That's the hard
Mhm.
part.
Yeah.
So
Find
Yeah,
who
I'm
you
curious to learn more
define who
about
you
your
are first. Uh-huh. Yeah.
CJ, I'm definitely curious to learn more about your process, especially let's say someone, have a vision, a goal, but they just need like, especially, so I'm from the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. There's a lot of startups out here, and we do different rounds of funding, and part of that is crowdsourcing, then getting those funds from, maybe, private lenders, VCs, and I'm curious to learn more about your process. I would love to connect you with a few people that I know that's looking for capital right now, and I think, uh, well, I can't imagine like their mindset is that needs to be fixed. It's like they really need capital.
Mm, right, right.
Mm.
and just
So
to enlighten you, Sapan,
Yes, you talking to
we
me?
have he is part of the Ubami member, so
Okay,
he is a entrepreneur, he is an inspirational leader, and he also is investor.
nice.
So all of us that are part of the Kabami and Ubami, we do all three. We are not only a passionate entrepreneur, we also inspirational leaders, and we're also investor. But only invest to the project, services, and product that makes sense to you.
true.
Mhm. Yes.
So yes, if their mindset is right and they become our partners, we will guide them through their mindset, through the process, through the strategy, and we'll give them the fun. Amazing.
Beautiful.
So, any
Great.
other question before we move on to number 3? So let's go ahead and
Yeah.
Long, go ahead and give him number 3.
Okay. So would you like to share your strategy on the personal business successes, challenges, and obstacles?
Sure. So you see, you have to consider a few things. You have to make failure part of your success, right? And you have to make a daily process of failing every day. Now, when I started my journey of doing businesses, before that, when I was a student in Sydney, Australia, uh, whilst I was studying, I was doing door-to-door marketing, and in that
That's
business,
hard.
I learned the most, right? Knocking doors and selling people services, internet services, phone plans. And in that journey, I learned that no is part of the journey, or getting rejected is part of the journey. Um, at the time, my manager, he was a great guy, and he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna applaud you for getting a sale every day. I'm going to applaud you on the number of no's that you're getting every day. So the person who gets the most number of no is going to be the winner of the day. So we would all come together at the end of the day at around 8 p.m. and he'll ask each one of us, how many no's did you get? How many no's did you get? How many no's did you get? And the person with the most number of no's will get appreciated. So that way we got wired for not taking no personally, and not taking no as a fatal
Mhm.
death, or it's the end of the world.
Mhm.
Most people cannot take rejection, right? Most people are not able to handle it well. The reason is because they wired their brain that rejection means end of the world. So that's the first thing, and that really helped me to shape my mindset, right? So when you are taking on a journey of achieving your dreams, you got to be ready to fail. As a matter of fact, you got to be failing every day. If you're not failing every day, you're not growing, right? And that I learned earlier on in my life, that I learned through my experiences when I did my door-to-door marketing. After that, I became so good at it. I was the worst at it. The first door I knocked, I knocked the door and I ran away from there. And I was praying that no one should open the door, otherwise I'll have to talk. So from there, I became so resilient, because whilst doing that, I became a learner again. Uh, I used to listen to Zig Ziglar and Les Brown and Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and all these amazing speakers. Are you able to hear me?
Rewind back about 7-10 seconds.
Okay. So I used to listen to can you hear me?
I can hear you now,
Now,
but you
yeah.
keep cutting off. Can you restart 10 seconds before that? Okay.
Yeah, we lost
Okay.
him.
Yeah, we lost him for a little, but he will be back in
He
another
has to
second.
reload himself. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
When that
Sapon,
happens, he has to reload.
he's a great connection for you. Can you hear me, Sapon?
Sapon, yes.
So
Can you hear
pan,
me?
Sapan,
so pan.
Oh, no,
Sapon.
he's back. He's back. He's
Good
back.
connection with all of us. He's
Well,
amazing.
Where is
Chris,
he?
if it makes you feel better, you can just call me Size.
Yeah, that's true. Sai.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Sai.
right. Yeah.
Yes, he is
yeah.
back.
CAZ. Yeah.
So,
SYZ Size.
Right.
so
No,
CJ,
no, don't make excuse for him. Let him learn.
Right? Exactly.
Let
I
him
thank
learn.
you.
So pan,
Thank you.
so
You're
pan.
gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today.
You gotta learn
that's
it.
right. I
Sapan
gotta
and
learn that.
Sapon.
CJ, go
Life
ahead.
is not easy.
Super. So where was I? So I used to listen to these amazing speakers before going out on the field to change my mindset from a person who was scared to death to knock the door to a person who was ready to take on the journey, and that really made me resilient. So resilience is the first thing that you need to develop in order for you to achieve your dreams, right? If you're not ready to fail,
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
can
he
you all hear
probably
me
have
now?
some internet connection situation. We're not sure yet. Can you hear me, CJ? We cannot hear you, CJ. Can you uh, reset your mic or restart and come back? Can you hear us?
I
CJ,
can
can
hear
you
you.
hear us?
Can you hear me?
Okay, you can hear me, but we
I
cannot
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Yeah, we cannot hear you.
We can hear him now.
You can hear him now? Okay, good. Go ahead. Please
He
continue.
he was getting to the good part too.
I know,
No,
I know,
still not.
I know.
So what do we learn from
Yeah, that
him?
was the good part.
You know,
Oh my goodness! It's always at the good part.
I
Oh yeah,
know.
we can discuss. We can relate to what he just said, and amazing. Yeah, we all new entrepreneur.
Mhm.
People are listening.
Yeah.
Everybody
Mhm.
listening. A lot of new
So, well,
entrepreneurs.
Chris, I know you say he's an investor, so I got some projects I want to run by you, and maybe all you guys that we need help with, and definitely maybe on a different show or something like that, or just you can call me. But
We are
um,
going to do a mindful matter one-on-one focus, which means that we will bring in passionate entrepreneur to pitch their project,
mhm.
Mhm.
products, and services.
Yeah.
So Tim, AJ, and Joshua would be our first lineup to talk about their music and short story
Mhm.
project, why they should invest into the Khmer music and Khmer short story. And
Mhm.
then we can do the same thing with you or anybody else that come
Mhm.
along that need
Yeah,
to reshape their
Yeah.
mind, reshape their strategy, and need the funding.
yeah. Well,
We can
right
do
now we're
that. Yes.
working with the mayor of Union Square in San Francisco. We're putting together a project that's going to involve everything from the fashion, the music, the arts, culture. We have a couple of artists that we want to fly out from Cambodia, Van Da being one of them, and the whole Bottomay. And it's going to be a again runway vendors the whole night. So Union Square, if you've never been there, it's actually San Francisco. I'm not going to try pitches right now. We have a whole pitch deck too, but we'll talk about it later. We definitely need some help.
Okay.
Welcome
Yeah.
back, CJ.
Yes,
Mhm.
sorry, I had a bad connection. Okay,
No problem.
hopefully you guys can hear me now.
Yes, we
Yes.
can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you
We
clearly.
can't. We were
Super.
talking about how good you were, and then you got cut off on the good part.
That was a good part.
We love your stories. We can all relate to what you're saying.
Mhm.
Great,
Don't
Yes.
great.
want to
I'm
miss
glad.
anything.
I'm
Go
glad.
ahead and
I'm glad.
continue about rewind about 10 seconds where you
Right,
left off.
right. So, the first thing is building that resilience. Making failure part of your life and business. And the more often you fail, the faster you will succeed. And you have to make that part of your life, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing that I realized was that in the mundane of life, in day-to-day life activities, we forget our end result. We forget our end goal. What do we want to really, really achieve, right? So having that vision in mind, having that ultimate goal in mind, whether it is, you want to open up, $1 million company, or you want to, create some shifts in your personal life, you want to improve your health, whatever you want to do, you got to keep that end goal in mind, the end result in mind. If that end result is not there in mind, or if it's not there in front of you, chances are that we forget, right? Because life hits and a lot of things come on the way and we forget, right? A lot of challenges will come. It will be part of your journey, right? But we got to keep on keeping on, right? And that's where I remember a story. Okay, I'll tell you. This is really interesting. When I wanted to be a pilot, the family situation was really, really tight. The financial situation of her family was not that well. Uh, my mother was the only person who was the breadwinner of the family, and the home that we used to live in was worth around $12,000. Okay, and the loan that we required to go to one of the best schools and learn to fly was worth, I think, $25,000. Okay, so we didn't even have enough money to go to a bank and ask them for a loan, because the bank would say, you know what, your home is, or your assets are not even that much. How will you pay back your loan, right? So I literally had made a presentation of what will happen in how many years I will pay back the loan. I made the calculations of when will I get a job and when will I do this. So all of that, I went to around 30 different banks in my hometown. Okay, made these presentations to the bank managers, but all of them said, you know what, you don't have enough collateral. We can't give you the loan. And one fine day, I came across this movie called The Secret. Anyone watched it? Anyone? Yeah. So in that movie, it's all about the law of attraction and how do your thoughts attract the right things. And in that movie, there was a scene where the gentleman has a dream car in his mind. He's sitting on his sofa and he's thinking he's driving his dream car. He's just visualizing it. He's putting up his favorite piece of music and he's just visualizing that he's driving his favorite car. And that scene from that movie got stuck in my head. And I thought, you know what, I can do the same, but I'll just replace the car with a nice
For the airplane.
two-seater airplane, right? And I
Yeah.
did that. I did that for 2 months, 5 minutes a day. I would sit and I would just visualize. And I would go to these different banks asking for the loan. Nothing, nada, no help. So within those 2 months, one fine day, my mother wakes up early morning. She does her ritual. She loves to meditate. So she was meditating in the morning and she got a thought: go to the same bank where you went for the first time. Now we went to the bank where her salary used to get deposited. So that was the bank we went the second time. The second time we went, there was a new manager. We didn't meet him before. So I showed him my presentation. And he said, you know what? I'm going to do some here and there in the valuation of your home, and I'm going to give you the loan. Okay. And it happened. He gave me the loan. He sanctioned my loan within 15 days. Within 3 months of sanctioning my loan, that manager got transferred to some other bank branch, right? So he just came there so that my
To fix the problem.
visualization,
Mm-hmm.
my vision can come true, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
kept at it. I kept at it until I got it, right? Until I achieved it. So, long story short, then I went to Sydney, Australia. I became a pilot and all that, right? But the one thing that I learned during the journey is that your mind is the beginning point of your dreams, of achieving your dreams, right? If you have clarity here, you will have power here to work on it. right? If you don't have clarity here, if you don't know what you really want, you'll not have enough power to work on it, right? You'll not have enough drive to work on it.
Mhm.
So that's a little bit of how I overcame. And every time I had a dream, every time I wanted to do something, um, there were some obstacles, there were some challenges, but I always knew my end result. I always knew my end goal and how do I achieve it. So now, let's say if I want to reach from India to the US, I can, if I can't come directly, I will come via London, I'll come via Dubai, I'll come via, different country, right? But I'll get there if I can't come directly. The same thing is true when you're achieving your dreams. If you can't achieve one way, majority of people, they give up, right? Because, oh, I tried, it didn't work, so now I can't achieve it. But then you have other ways. But why people are not able to achieve that? It's because over here they're not clear, right? That what exactly they want. So, overcoming obstacles becomes easier when you know exactly what you want, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, going back to what you said on a personal level, we wanted to share our vision with people, and when people rejected us, we are just way too hard on ourselves.
Right,
And then because you expect too much, when you expect, you create disappointment. Disappointment will encourage you to quit. Maybe you're not the right person, but I
right,
definitely agree with you that never give up. All because
correct,
somebody doesn't see your vision does not mean the next person will not come. Just like that gentleman, he was only there
Hmm.
for what, a week, because he have his own destiny. He was on a mission to make it happen for you. Just
correct,
like a God says,
correct,
just like the
Mm.
universe manifests of your vision, of your dream. So yeah,
correct.
never be too hard on yourself. I completely agree on you in that on a personal level. I experienced that as well. Anyone else have question and answer? A question for him and interact with him?
That's a powerful story, CJ. I love that. Like as far as with
Thank you.
facing rejection, a lot of times, to get what you said, how many no's did you get? How many no's did you get? It's not how many sales you got. It's how many no's did you get today. And that's a cool challenge, and that's a really good way of looking at it. I remember thinking about the times when I did also door to door sales as well, and but we weren't selling anything crazy like that. It was just candy bars, that was like 15 years old, and I got a ton of no's, but at the same time, I think it helped me out throughout life because I've been rejected for
Right,
so many times. We were used to go to like the clubs, and it would be a battle between me and my friends and how many numbers that we could get. But then it wasn't about the numbers; it's that how many rejections can we get,
correct,
right?
correct,
So you condition ourselves to be stronger in the future, and a lot of time they're not rejecting us; they're rejecting themselves. It's their loss, not
right,
mine, right? So they're
right,
Exactly, exactly.
You can't really reject chocolate, raspberry chocolate, and
right.
correct.
caramel.
Yeah, yeah,
Correct,
exactly.
correct. When you value what you have, when you value your product or a service that you have, you
Mm-hmm.
will
Right.
Yep,
see that the person who
exactly.
is not taking it is in the loss, not you.
Yeah, I
Yes,
value this a
love it,
lot.
Correct, correct.
love
Awesome,
it.
awesome. I
It
like
was
it.
very, very good because all of us can relate and the people watching as well. So all of us been through a lot of rejection and a lot of no's to be able to be still here. And
Correct,
we learned that no just mean not now. That's what I've learned.
Yes.
Mm.
correct, correct.
Or they don't
Not now.
fully understand your vision.
Yes.
Well, and
They don't
sometimes you could be
understand your
sharing.
yes,
Right, go,
your vision.
well, yeah, they don't understand the vision, or a lot of times it's like everyone have their own agenda, and you
Yes.
could be sharing the wrong vision to the wrong person. You know what I mean? But you can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
True,
That's
true,
true.
true,
Very
Yes.
true.
good.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that bang
Absolutely.
example is very good. See, it's just all the timing. The person, if you
All
give up,
right.
if your mom
So
didn't send you back, you just quit,
The
we
right?
right time, right place. Yes.
we have
The
20
law of
minutes.
attraction. Uh-huh.
Okay, mom,
Okay,
read
let's
him
go
to the
on to the
number
next
4.
question. Number 4. So far, so good, right? Please
Absolutely.
share.
Timing is good.
Would you please share your experiences and how to be stay healthier mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually?
Ooh,
CJ,
that's a
Beautiful
loaded
question.
question.
a lot of
Yeah,
questions.
yeah, a lot of questions, but I
Take
love it.
one at a
Um,
time.
so, being mentally healthy, one thing that I've realized in my journey is that uh, nutrition plays a huge role, uh, and also uh, meditation really helped me. My mom taught me how to meditate um, since I was very young, like when I was, I think, 2.5, 3 years old. My mother taught me how to meditate, and that really helped me in my journey. Now, meditation can be of different types. You choose what you like. You know, a lot of people uh, get bored just by sitting in silence, and that's okay. You know, that's the beginning point. But at 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minutes of silence, silencing your mind, having that clarity, having that few thoughts clearing your mind out, right? Clearing your head. That's really important. The other thing is that having emotional fitness. Um, what I mean by that is that being able to express your emotions is also really, really important when it comes to being mentally fit. People, when they don't express their emotions, they become physically unhealthy and also mentally unhealthy, right? But when they're
Yes.
able to express it, they become super fit. So being able to express your emotions in the right way, it's about learning how to communicate your emotions, right? So it's not about when you're angry, you don't express it. But when you're angry, you learn how to express that anger in the right way, right?
Mhm.
Or it's not about suppressing your emotions, it's about expressing it. So that really, really helped me. So what I did was that I learned how to communicate my emotions well, right? Communication is the key when you are, when you are in a dilemma or when you are in a conflict with another person. Learning how to communicate that and still keep the relationship is the key, right?
Mhm.
Physically, of course, I learned the hard way. I was a person who loved eating junk food, and at one point, I was, overweight. I was skipping my meals, but I learned the hard way. I One day I got my blood reports and I saw, okay, my lipid profile is not looking great. I have high cholesterol. I got to do something about it, right? And I started some good workout. I started small. I started 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, and then slowly, gradually took it up to half an hour a day. You got to decide your own strategy of how you build your health. But when I went to my normal weight and normal health, I saw that I started becoming more successful financially as well. So your health is also related to your success because
Mhm.
I saw in my life that when I was overweight, I was not able to think clearly. When I was overweight, I had brain fog, and I was not able to do things the right way, right? So it's really, really important to take care of your health and be emotionally fit. And spiritually, it's all interconnected, right? When you're high in spirits, uh, when you are in there in the trenches, when you are clear about your vision, your goal, and when you're physically fit, everything meets at the right point, right?
Mhm.
But if you're experiencing problems in your health, if you're experiencing problems in your emotions, fix that first, right? Before you try and conquer the world. Because if you're trying to conquer the world at the cost of your health, it's going to cost you huge, right? So, one thing that I learned in my journey was that physical fitness is utmost important and mental fitness as well. And to be able to communicate your emotions in the right way, that's the key, right? That's the key, right?
That is
So any
powerful. That is so. You're saying to us that it's important to have a all those variable connected together. It's a balance. You have to balance physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Is that what you're saying?
true, true, true. So you've got to do one thing every day that can make all these areas of your life better. One thing that can make your health better, one thing that can make you wealthier, one thing that can make you emotionally strong, one thing that can make you spiritually strong, and one thing that can make you socially strong, right? So one thing every day to make you better in these five areas, right?
Are
So you can
you
have
are you
yeah.
bigger on the mental healthiness, physical fitness, emotionally fitness, or spiritual fitness? Which one is more critical to you?
Mhm.
Uh, See, for me, physical fitness will lead to everything, right? Slowly,
Mhm.
gradually. So
Mhm.
when you're physically fit, you will automatically become mentally fit as well, right?
Mhm.
So it's interconnected for sure.
They are
Uh,
interconnected. Yeah.
Correlated.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're all related.
Mhm.
So
definitely.
uh,
I Go ahead, CJ.
sorry,
Yeah, no, you
yeah,
go first. You're the guest.
yeah. So you know, uh, through my journey, what I realized was that when I was not physically fit, I was seeing everything as a problem. I
Mhm.
had brain fog. I was not able to meditate. I was not able to even relate to people, or I thought people are judging me, or people are doing this. But it was
Hmm.
not that. It was just me judging me, right? And when I became physically better, things started happening better. Things started changing around me. I was able to connect with people well. I was able to express myself well. I was able to understand people well. I was able to meditate well. I was able to think clearly, right? So, according to me, physical fitness is utmost important.
When you go through some struggle and you're
Right.
unable to connect all the dots together, what are some of the method that you do?
So, the best thing I do is I go for a run, or I go for I love martial arts, so I go for my martial arts class, or I go out in the woods and walk over there, or I go to the beach and I spend some time over there, and I ground myself, and I think things through and come back, right? So that's my go-to place.
So this is amazing. You have a different method than episode 2, where Molly was saying I tap myself to
Remember that?
interconnect with what I
The
need. When
tapping.
I try to overcome my struggle, that's what they do. She tap herself.
Wow.
So this is
Yeah,
beautiful because that every guest that I have, they have different method, and that's what we're trying to show the world. There's no one right way. It's
Correct.
360 way to do the right things.
yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I love it that you say you go to the beach, you go to the woods, and you connect with nature, and you take time to
Right.
think. A lot of people underestimate the power of thinking, and yeah, you got to think about things. You know what I mean? Think it through. And I think it was
True.
Henry Ford that said that he get paid the most because he a lot of people don't engage in thinking. I might have messed that one up, but just thinking about things and thinking it through. Um, CJ, for another question for you is that if it comes down to like balance, would you say that is it possible to work out too much or do too much physical fitness?
Yeah, true. Absolutely. So, you know, that's one part of life, but that's just one small part of life. Don't make it the only thing in your life that you want to make it better. A lot of times, when we are too much obsessed with one thing, the chances are that we will, overwork ourselves. We will burn ourselves out.
Mm,
So yeah, there are possibilities of burning ourselves out, whether it is physical fitness or whether it is working at your office for you know 15 hours a day or 18 hours a day, or whether
Exactly.
it is just being spiritual and meditating the entire day. Anything in axis can create troubles in your life, right?
Wow, powerful answer. Yep.
Cool. Cool.
Thank you. A lot of us need to hear this. The
Oh yeah,
audience.
100%.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You
Yes.
know, more and more people
Um,
have mental health challenges. So we appreciate that.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead into the next question, Bong. Let's go.
All right. Would you please share your methodology on why and how to build generational wealth and
And
plan your own money trees?
and also before you
Beautiful.
go, we do have about 12 minutes to go.
Okay. Great. Okay. So some real quick thumb rules that I follow to manage my money well. Okay. The first rule is you got to set aside at least 10-20% of your monthly income for your golden goose. What is your golden goose? That's your goose that's going to give you golden eggs, right? You guys know the story of golden goose. There was a
Yes.
farmer, and he had this goose who was giving the golden eggs every single day. He would sell those eggs, but one fine day he became greedy, and what he did, he
He
said, "You know
sold it.
what? Let me cut the goose in half and take all the gold all at once." What
Oh,
happened was that he cut the goose. There was no gold, right? So
Mhm.
the same thing happens with a lot of people. What they do is they save for a little while, but whenever they require, they use that money, and that seed money is gone, right?
Mhm.
So you got to every month set aside a little amount, okay, whether it's 10%, 20%, uh, for your financial freedom. That becomes your seed money. That money works for you now, right? After a little while. So you got to segregate your money in 6 different jars. This is what I learned from my mentor, Tiha Eka. You got to divide your income in 6 different jars. First jar is your financial freedom jar. Okay. In that jar, put aside at least 10% of your income every single month. Okay. Then comes your long term savings for spending account. In that jar, you put around 10% for your future spending. So let's say you want to buy a home, you want to buy a car, you want to save for your child's education, or you want to save for yourself, your retirement. Set aside that 10% extra. Okay. That brings us to 20%. Third 10% you set aside for your education, meaning educating yourself, doing programs, doing seminars to improve your skill set, to improve your mindset, so that your the best investment is the investment on yourself,
Mhm.
right? So 10% you set aside every month on educating yourself. The world is changing at a faster pace than ever before. If you don't keep up with the changes that are happening in the world, and if you don't learn, the chances are that you will not relate to the things that are happening in the world, and you'll be behind, right? So you got to be recent, you got to be educated in things that are happening. So that's the third 10%. The fourth 10% is for you to enjoy your life, right? It's for you to play. If you're earning, you're not enjoying your money, the chances are that you will stop earning money because your motivation for earning that money will go. So you got to enjoy your money as well. You got to enjoy your wealth as well. So 10% you set aside for play. Now, for that, you can do, you want to travel, you want to go to restaurants and enjoy, you want to watch movies, you want to, spend time with the people that you love. Use that money for that, right? The another 10%, that brings us to 50, another 10%, uh, you give it away. Okay. Give it away to the causes that are near and dear to your heart, right? Give it away to the people who are in need. Now, it's not necessary to just give money. You can give clothes to people. You can give food to people. You can give education to people, right? You can gift it, right? So that's your 50%. The rest of the 50%, you run your home with that, right? You pay your bills, you pay your groceries, your rent, your electricity, so on and so forth. So that's how you manage your money. Now, if you're really smart and if you can increase that 10%, decrease your expenses from 50% to 30 or 20%, and increase your financial freedom fund by 20 to 30%, right? Our student in India, in Bangalore, he just recently started working. He's young, he's 23, 24. He is earning good as compared to Indian salaries. He's earning really well, so he's able to live off his of 20% of his income, right? So he's saving 80% in his financial freedom account. Within 8 years, he will become financially free. He will know how he will not have to work anymore in his life because his money will be working for him, right? Because he's putting aside that much money in his financial freedom fund. So you got to set aside that money every single month and never touch that. That becomes your golden goose that will give you the eggs, right? Every single day.
Yeah, definitely a great point. Well, definitely appreciate that sharing. I think you're gonna need a lot more time to focus on your expertise in the building generational wealth and growing your money tree. And in your terminology, you said the golden goose, golden eggs. So we are going to invite you back to come and talk about focus point one on one.
Right,
And all we're going to
right.
do is focus on generational wealth and how to manage your golden goose properly, not cut it in half and discover there's nothing
Yeah.
there. So we're going to go ahead and
Not
move
butchering
to
the
number
poor
six.
goose.
Final.
Yeah, but let's go to number six before we ask you the next interact with you the question.
Okay, let's move on to the last final. Above all, how and why is it very important to be happier with people around you and how to have a strong inner circle of relationships?
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, when I was young, I heard from my mentor that you are the average of 5 people that you hang around with, and I took that really seriously, and I started hanging around with people who are dreamers. I started hanging around with people who are where I wanted to be, right? So it's really important to be in the association of right people. Also, because earlier on in my life, I was not associating with the right people, and that's why I failed. So I learned from that experience, and it's one of the most important thing, I think, if you really want to succeed in life. Um, one thing that I've realized is that if you're willing to ask for help from people who are where you want to be, people are willing to help, right? Um, it takes courage to ask for help. It takes courage to increase your self-image to that level that you can go and ask them that, you know what, I would like to be like you, or I would like to have the results that you have. Can you share how did you reach where you are, or where you are today, right? So it's really important. It's also important who you invite in your inner circle. It's also important to consider that who is part of your day-to-day life, because it's the fastest way to upgrade or degrade your life. The people you hang around with will define your quality of life for sure, right? So and that impacts your mindset as well. If I hang around with Warren Buffett for 10 days, my mindset will change, right? If
That would be
and
awesome.
That would be amazing, right? But
Absolutely. I would love to spend 1 hour with him, 30 seconds, well, 30 minutes with him.
correct, correct. But in this present day and age, well, with the internet, it's possible because we can watch their interviews, we can watch their
Mhm.
their podcasts, we can watch
Mhm.
amazing things that people are doing, like yourself, Christopher, and the team. Because of that, it's possible now to meet people that we felt is impossible, right?
Yes, indeed. And that was
Fantastic.
our mission, was to bring people like yourself to, you know, to build a better world by sharing our knowledge and sharing our experience, sharing our story, and sharing our success. And that's the reason what motivated me to put this podcast together, because I know there's thousands and thousands and hundreds and thousands of people like you and us, and all we have to do is come together and connect, and let's have fun.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So
I'm glad.
Wonderful. Yeah.
so
Awesome.
so anybody, let's conclude it up to have some question and get your last question out before we can say it's time 9:02. Go ahead, let's go ahead and ask your last question, and we can conclude our podcast.
Yeah, I just want to comment that a long time ago I used to attend a seminar by CD tape. Listening to all those motivational speakers, attend get motivated seminar. In person, and now it's just on YouTube, all over social
Correct,
media. We're so
correct,
lucky to have everything for free
Mhm.
most of the
Yeah.
time.
But the thing is we don't have time for those free stuff. So we're narrowed down to pick just the perfect one.
correct.
For me, I used to like help a lot of people, like you said, CJ. My time spending, donating my time, my energy, my resources, my mental resources to help the poor, unfortunate people for like almost 20
Beautiful.
years. And so I'm getting the positive energy back. Even though I get negative energy, I accept it. And then I screen it out and, shift it out and just collect the positive from them. That's why wherever I go, even my enemies turn to my friends.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Yes.
Right there.
fantastic,
Never
Oh,
give up, like you said, right? Never give up. Believe in your vision. So,
beautiful.
all right. So, anybody else that you want to say your last word, JC?
And
Uh,
JC, tell your mom I really admire her story, the story you told. Tell her I say hi, and I do really want to meet her someday because
sure, sure, sure.
I kind of relate to her.
Beautiful, beautiful. I will for sure. So, yeah, definitely. One thing that I really feel blessed with is that I had amazing family in my life. My mother and my beautiful wife. I'm so grateful to all the women in my life because, and my sister as well, for sure. Uh, they have supported me so well. There's a woman behind every successful man, for sure, and there's been multiple women in my life who have made me
You're
who I am.
very lucky.
My sister, my wife. My wife started my videos. I was hesitant to start my videos. My wife was the one who had faith in me, and she said, "You know what you have in your mind, it's worth out. It's worth putting out there. Let's start small videos." And it went viral, right? So
Wow. I'm really glad to hear your story when you say you step up by yourself because you saw your mom as a breadwinner and then you change. That's just wow. It's just amazing. Just perfect that you change. To give back to the world.
It's a great
Um,
story and need to be
yeah.
shared.
hmm
Yes,
yeah. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
family usually the people that feel embarrassed when you see you're on there. But your wife is different. She's proud of you. She has a vision. She believed in you. That's amazing. And keep sharing because Chris said you were sharing a lot of videos. What we're doing
Mhm.
is we are creating the legacy. So please keep sharing your video, your wisdom with the world.
sure. Thank you,
So, are
for
you
sure.
guys ready to exclude us? include this?
We don't want to end. There's so
Oh,
much going on.
we don't want to end. I know we can go on for another hour, but
The audience will
we have to
enjoy it.
end it because we
Yes.
have to go to another appointment. We got to go do other things. So
We
let's
really
just
enjoy it.
let's just return to the mindful matter focus point one-on-one. We're going to talk more about your finance expertise and generational wealth and money planning, money tree. So let's invite you to come back and focus on that. So now,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, let's include it is 9:02. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.
Great.
Good night.
I love
Good
the voice.
night.
Good night. Good night. Bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Good night.
Thank you, CJ.
Pleasure.
Thank you,
Bye.
CJ.
Thank you.